Have you ever been tricked by your own eyes? Have you ever seen something that wasn't really there, a fleeting image that defied logic? Welcome to the captivating world of optical illusions, where perception and reality playfully diverge. The ancient Greeks, masters of aesthetics and engineering, were among the first to consciously use illusions in architecture, like the Parthenon's columns. These weren't built perfectly straight. Instead, they bulged slightly to appear perfectly straight from afar, a subtle correction for the eye's natural curvature perception. Artists through history, recognizing the power of visual deception, have skillfully played with perception, especially during the Renaissance. They dedicated themselves to mastering perspective, employing techniques to create the illusion of depth and three-dimensionality on flat surfaces, drawing viewers into their painted worlds. These illusions, whether grand architectural designs or subtle artistic techniques, reveal a fundamental truth. What we see is not a direct recording of reality, but is actively shaped and interpreted by our brains, not just passively received by our eyes. The thrill of experiencing an optical illusion comes from the surprise, the aha moment when we suddenly spot the trick, when our brain reconfigures its interpretation and the illusion snaps into focus. Optical illusions challenge our very sense of reality and serve as a potent reminder that our senses, reliable as they may seem, can be easily fooled, leading us to question the nature of perception itself. They cleverly exploit the shortcuts and assumptions our brains instinctively use to quickly interpret the complex world around us. From ancient temples to modern art installations, illusions in their myriad forms have consistently fascinated and intrigued us, captivating our imaginations. They're not just mere novelties or amusing tricks, they're invaluable windows into the intricate workings of our minds, offering insights into how we perceive, process, and ultimately understand the world. Every time we fall for an illusion, we join a long and storied tradition of human curiosity, a quest for understanding that stretches back centuries, connecting us to those who sought to unravel the mysteries of perception long before us. So, what exactly is an optical illusion? What makes them so captivating and at times so perplexing? It's essentially a visual trick, a clever deception played on our eyes and brain. It's a fascinating phenomenon that exposes how our brains process information, revealing the inner workings of our perception. Our brains, in their constant effort to make sense of the world, take shortcuts, making assumptions based on established patterns and our past experiences, allowing us to navigate our surroundings efficiently. Illusions are cleverly designed to exploit these very shortcuts, these inherent biases in our visual processing. They manipulate our perception, leading us to see things that aren't really there or to misinterpret what is actually present. The eyes, acting as our visual sensors, capture raw data from the environment, but it's the brain that truly interprets it, transforming that raw data into a meaningful experience. It's constantly building a model of reality, a representation of the world around us. Illusions work by feeding our brains conflicting clues, like color, contrast, or perspective, ultimately causing confusion and a distorted perception of what's real. Some illusions take advantage of ambiguous images, those with multiple possible interpretations, forcing our brains to flip back and forth between these competing interpretations, unable to settle on a single, definitive view. These tricks reveal that perception is not a passive reception of information, but rather an active, creative process. Not just passive seeing, but active construction. We actively construct our reality, shaping our understanding of the world, and illusions, in their deceptive nature, show us the limits of that construction, the boundaries of our perception. They're a fun and engaging way to peek behind the curtain of our minds, to explore the inner workings of our visual system. Seeing isn't just a physical process, it's profoundly mental, shaped by our experiences, expectations, and the intricate workings of our brains. Some illusions possess a peculiar quality. They seem to move and shift right before your eyes, even though they're fundamentally perfectly still. It's a testament to the power of visual trickery. Take, for example, the mesmerizing rotating snake's illusion. It appears to spin and undulate, creating a dynamic visual experience, all because of the intricate way our brains interpret patterns and color combinations. It's a fascinating glimpse into how our visual system works. Similarly, the enigmatic spinning dancer silhouette can appear to turn in either direction, clockwise or counterclockwise, depending entirely on how your brain chooses to interpret the ambiguous visual cues presented. It's a battle of perspectives within your own mind. Then there are ambiguous images, classic examples like the duck rabbit, which force your mind to actively choose between two distinct possibilities, two separate interpretations of the same image. You can see either the duck or the rabbit, but, try as you might, you can't perceive both simultaneously. These illusions powerfully highlight just how profoundly context, prior experience and expectation shape and influence what we ultimately see and believe. Our brains are, at their core, pattern detectors, constantly seeking order and meaning, and sometimes, in their eagerness, they end up creating motion or morphing forms and shapes from what are in reality static images. The world around us feels inherently stable and consistent, but these illusions serve as a potent reminder of just how much of our perception is actively constructed, interpreted, and shaped by our minds. What we perceive with our eyes isn't always an accurate reflection of what's actually there in the external world. These intriguing visual puzzles remind us that our minds are constantly working, actively filling in the blanks and making assumptions based on incomplete information. The real magic, the true illusion, happens entirely inside the complex neural networks of our own heads. Illusions also trick us with shapes and colors. The Muller-Lyer illusion makes two equal lines look different lengths, simply by adding arrowheads. Our brains use angles to judge depth, so the lines appear unequal. The checker shadow illusion shows two identical squares that look different because of shadow and context. Our brains adjust for lighting, changing what we perceive. Impossible shapes like the Penrose triangle can be drawn, but can't exist in reality. Each part makes sense, but the whole is a paradox. These illusions exploit the rules our brains use to interpret the world. They reveal that even basic properties like length and color are constructed, not absolute. Illusions expose the bugs in our brain's operating system. Why do we love being tricked by illusions? They offer a safe, playful way to experience the impossible, a bit of magic created by our own minds. The aha moment is deeply satisfying, like a workout for our perception. Illusions show that our brains are storytellers, weaving fragments into a coherent world. They reveal the seams in our consciousness where interpretation takes over. Studying illusions helps scientists, artists, and even engineers understand and influence perception. What starts as a fun trick can lead to real-world innovations. Illusions celebrate the creativity and complexity of our minds. They remind us that reality is a collaboration between the world and our brains. Every time we're fooled, we glimpse the magic of perception, and that never gets old.